Hi, my name is Carly Pearl Sachs, and I'm a hunter-jumper rider originally from Washington and now in Oregon. I am a professional hunter-jumper rider and sponsored by County Saddlery, but right now I'm actually working with an event trainer at OSU who has been helping me do some different stuff with my horse Airy, such as cross-country and dressage, which is very new for me. So I got some videos of my horse at a cross-country clinic that I went to. It is my first ever cross-country clinic, so I apologize, some of my riding is not the best, but I've gone through some life changes recently and thought that it might be fun to do something a little different, so I'm going to start doing some voiceovers and vlogs if you guys like them, and yeah, hopefully this will go well. I apologize, I'm not a great cross-country rider because I'm just not used to that at all, so I'm going to do my best to explain what's happening. Please don't, think that I know what I'm doing, because I really don't at this point, but Brooke Lacey, who's my trainer, has been doing an amazing job with me trying to explain all the ropes of everything. My wonderful friend Hannah videoed all of these. Unfortunately, this little camera that she videoed on is very difficult to get in focus. Some of them are out of focus, but I did my best to edit, so yeah, hope you enjoy. Okay, so this was actually a video taken the second day, but I tacked up the same way for both days, just a little bit different saddle pad. So this is just me showing you what I put on him. We just used closed front boots, and I sped this up a little bit so it wouldn't be too long. But yeah, I just got some Woofwear closed front boots for this, and you can see it's actually really windy. His tail's blowing in the wind. He's got some bell boots on because he tends to overreach a little with his back legs. Then his County saddlery pad and a half pad, and then my saddle, my lovely County. And I don't really need a breastplate with this saddle because it does fit him quite well. I put one on just in case since we were going cross country. And then I used a belly guard girth because tends to get his knees really close to his tummy. Okay, so this was out just warming up the first day. And you can see he actually got kind of excited about trotting around when I asked him to canter, which is really funny. Yeah, you can see that he got just a little excited, which is not a big deal. I don't mind when he's a little excited, but he's really usually a pretty lazy horse, so that was pretty funny. This was just our first little warm-up jump. He was actually really brave and good to it. And for my show jump position, yeah, you can see he's just a little sassy. He just was having some opinions, which is totally fine. Okay, now we jumped over a little bit bigger fence, and you can see I'm really trying to keep my body back, which is not how I usually ride and how I usually should ride. Oh yeah, and this was the first time that we went away from the horses, and you can see he wasn't thrilled about it. We just did like 5 lead changes in a row, and then there we go. Yep, now we're getting okay. And he's really honest, so he jumped that even though it was a little bit of the side of the jump, but he jumped it quite well. And then we just canter down over that next fence. And I think, yeah, now we're practicing a couple ditches. So we just started with this little baby one, and he just popped right over it like a really good boy. I did let my eyes drop a little bit there, which I shouldn't have. Then we did the little bit bigger one, and he just popped over it. And that's all we did to start. And now we're going to canter over the little bit bigger ditch, and he gave quite a good effort over that. And then just canter down. And this is really a struggle I had, as I really wasn't letting him flow the first day. So that was something I really had to work on. But now we're just practicing this little up and down. This was actually the jump he spooked at the most, which is kind of funny. It's just this little log. But so he jumped it a little bit silly, but he still jumped it. And that's what matters for this horse, is that he's just going forward and being brave. And then we canter around, and we're going to do a different little combination. You can see he actually almost trotted there. He is usually fairly lazy, and then jumps that nice. I'm really working on keeping my body back, and I really let it go over this next fence. Because he gave a good effort, but I really need to practice that, keeping my body back no matter how he jumps. So this was a little better. Come out over that little cabin, and we're just working on now putting a couple fences together in a row. So next up, I believe we came to a novice house, and then down the hill, and then up over a little vertical. She jumped out quite well, and he's getting pretty confident at this point. So I think we did a training house next, which was think the biggest we did that day, but he was super good over it, super honest. I got a little bit of a tight distance to it, but he really popped out over it well. Yeah, he jumped really well over that, and then out over the little vertical again. Good boy. And then we did, unfortunately, this was the only video I got of the water complex, but he did actually go into it quite well. We did jump a bank down into it, but I unfortunately didn't get a video of that, but that's all right. So I believe that was the end of the first day. Yep, this is the second day, and yeah, you can see he's just silly. That little spook wasn't really at anything, but just had some opinions. So yeah, this is the beginning of the second day, just warming up, and over this little log jump, and he jumped that really nice. And this is the first time going away from the horses again this day. You can see he did it much better this time, even though he was still a little bit sticky, but not too bad. And much nicer over that fence. And then, Oh, and now we're doing the novice combination to the little ditch, and you can see how much better he jumped the ditch this day. Yeah, really, really nice and smooth. And now we're working on some bigger ditch combinations with the actual striding, and he popped over that really nicely. And that combination was the novice one. I believe this was a training one, maybe, but a nice little two stride out. He jumped out really confidently, so my trainer let me go out over the, I believe this was a prelim one, and he, it's a little sticky to that chevron. I gave him a big pat after, but he jumped it, and that was great. And then we practiced the fishbowl again, which he was so much more confident over. You can see he even got the actual going stride and was actually quite happy to go jump. We jumped the training house again out to the vertical, which he jumped beautifully, and then we came around, I don't know what level this next fence was, a little bit spookier. He jumped it great, came down the hill and out over that house in the 4. So really good job there. Next we practiced doing some banks, and I hadn't really done banks with him before, so he was super good, just started by jumping up and down one with a little hill, and yeah, popped right off like a really good boy. And then it was funny, he actually spooked at this next fence. It was just a little beginner novice fence. He jumped it quite big and then went up the bank and just popped off the edge. And then I had never done a corner before, so this was a little bit scary for me. I kind of overrode it. I really galloped up to it because I was a little bit nervous about it. But he's so honest. And actually, unfortunately, this was the next jump we did. He actually pulled a shoe landing off of it. You'll see I, again, overrode it and he jumped it huge and pulled a shoe off on landing, but being the very good boy he is, jumped out over the bank just fine. And I put it in slow motion so you can see he jumped it absolutely massive and then just caught his, yeah, just like that, and actually tore a hole through his bell boot. But being the best boy, he continued on and jumped the bank. That was my whole experience doing the cross country at Tulip Springs. I had a really, really great time, and my trainer could not have done a better job trying to help me through all these things. Airy was fantastic. Let me know if you'd like to see more of this type of video in the future, and I will see you later. Bye!